What's going on, guys? So today we're going to go over a French Chateau renovation project that I've been working on. We're going to go over a few things like the additions and renovations wanted. We're going to study the existing facade proportions. Then we're going to look at some references for design inspiration. Then I'm going to draw a preliminary design sketch, and then we're going to go over all the choices I made that resulted in the final design. Alright, let's get into it. So there were three main focuses for this project. The first one was a garage addition. The second requirement was a full second story addition because the existing second story had a bunch of roof lines cutting through it. The third requirement was a full exterior redesign into a French Chateau style. So looking at the existing facade of this house, you can tell that it's very symmetrical in nature. So I tried to use the existing proportions of these pieces that kind of pop out, and then I added a second story, and then I created these volumes here. So in this case, the only footprint changes are on the garage side. For the main facade on the right side, I'm actually able to use the existing first floor footprint and just add on top of it. So I like to look at a bunch of images to get some ideas in my head. A few things specific to this style are French doors, steep pitch roofs, precast details, things like that. So then I drew a really ugly fast sketch to get an idea of what I want to do. And I do this to see the best way to space out all of the windows and the dormers. We'll get to the more detailed stuff in a second. So in French design, there are three main windows used. Windows with no divided lights, windows with horizontal divided lights, and windows with horizontal and vertical divided lights. In this case, I use the middle option with just the horizontal divided lights. And the windows are usually 2 feet to 2'6" in width, and it's usually two casements next to each other. So the height of your window obviously changes with your ceiling height. So if you have a higher ceiling height, you have a taller window. So here CH stands for ceiling height, HH stands for head height. The head height is the length from the top of the window to the finished floor. So in an 8-foot ceiling height, you have a 6'8" head height. In a 9-foot ceiling height, you have a 7-foot head height. In a 10-foot ceiling height, you have an 8-foot head height. And on a 12-foot ceiling height, you have a 10-foot head height. So basically it's 2 feet off of the ceiling, but besides the 8-foot ceiling height. So in this case, we have a 9-foot ceiling height, so we're going to use the 7-foot head height. And this will tell me what size window I can use. So the next thing I looked at was the spacing of the windows and the doors on the facade. So when you're laying out your windows and your doors on the facade, you don't want to have them too close or too spaced. You want to have them just right. And this just takes a little adjusting until you get it right. Changing the ridge heights on the roof can actually make the roof line more interesting and better looking. By stepping down the roof a few times here in this facade, you can see that the main entrance and the two flanking pieces on the left and right are more pronounced than on the bottom option. So this is another thing I usually do. So this one chateau I found had a couple details that I liked, and I choose to use them on this house. So from this precedent study, I really like the curved top garage door with the stone going around it. And then I like this steep hip roof with the flat portion on top. And I sort of got to my second story window design by combining these two windows that I saw here and creating this one. So I usually use precast bands to break up the facade. Without these bands, there'll be a lot of surface area of one material, and these bands help break that up. And here's an animation of the renovation over the existing house. Hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.